Hello everyone. So I'm back with a new video. So we can see. So today is a different video. We are trying to make a use case for backup and recovery solution. You can see MSP360 with the help of Cloudberry. Obviously, there are multiple uh, softwares with which we can do backup and recovery, right? Not just with MSP360. It can be Vim. It can be uh, Truba. It can be other third-party software as well. So there are even ISVs who does these solutions. So accordingly, you can deploy it actually. Right. So finally, we also would be discussing on the use case. Right. So use case will help us to understand how to deploy this solution even better. That's the easiest way to understand the entire solution. So in use case, we can see so this is the use case. So multiple locations, multiple devices, right? So first of all, we'll understand how many locations are there. So here you can see there are three locations, as you can see, right? So every location we have choose to put a different operating system. It can be Windows, Linux, Windows 11, right? And you can see existing data is 3 TB, 40 TB, even 15 TB, right? So depending on location to location, the entire solution might vary. Okay. Now, if it's a huge data, what to do next, right? So, so in these two cases, there are huge data, 40 TB and 15 TB. So in that scenario, we would be using Snowball, right? So it's basically a hardware from AWS. It's kind of a small CPU or a box which have uh, computing speed space and as well as lot of space. It ideally varies up to 80 TB or so, right? So in this second and third scenario, we can use a snowball device to migrate the data from one to the next, right? So I believe this is the ideal solution to do because you cannot upload this data from uh, cloud to, I mean from on-premise to cloud through bandwidth, right? So we have to take that into account because of the size of the data, right? So also in this case, this data would go from one device to from on-premise device to the cloud. So basically, it will be physically transported to the AWS at its location. This data would be copied from your location and then be transferred to the AWS at its location, right? So also let me type Google and MSP360. So we'll try to figure out the operating system that are supported here, right? So in Windows, it can backup on Windows, Mac, Linux, Google Workspace, Microsoft 365, VMware, Hyper-V, to AWS, Google, Azure, to even local space, right? So click on here, you can see the pricing. So here you can see for backup for Windows, backup for Mac, Linux, right? For Windows also you can see for MS SQL, MS Exchange, Linux also. Then you can see Hyper-V, VMware, then Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace. So here we can see subscriptions, right? Monthly or annually subscription, and then you put your name and purchase. So before providing this solution, right, we need to understand the current existing infra, right? So that's why we have this data. So again, we have discussed about the on-premise data, incremental data, right here. Then types of data, structured or unstructured, number of people that will be accessing this data. That means how many person would be going there and recovering this data. So that is again important. Then access pattern. Then any tools, here we are using MSP360. Obviously they might tell you different tool that they want to use. So accordingly the solution needs to be made to backup and recovery, right? Depending on the tool. Then we do we already have a backup service implemented it. Again, if there is already a current existing backup service, we need to figure that out too. And if any new solution can be built upon it, that is also important. So the next question is amount of data you want to keep in the cloud. So that is also important, right? So let's say they don't want to keep 100% of that in the cloud. That also needs to be taken into account. Also, we need to understand for how long they are going to keep this data. So accordingly, we can choose S3 or S3 Glacier. Right? So the entire solution would change from time to time. So also we need to understand whether you would know whether if any data needs to be retrieved beforehand. So before 24 hours to 12 hours, because that much of time is required for Glacier solution, right? So it varies from 4 hours to plus 12 hours, till 12 hours, right? Obviously, internet bandwidth also is a part of the solution. Right, internet bandwidth, obviously. So again, it will be from a single device or multiple device that we have discussed already, right? And the operating system. So we also need to understand the operating system from which it needs to be migrated. So that is also an important part of the solution. So thank you. So please do like and subscribe if you like my videos. So basically this is the interface of MSP360. I have downloaded the app already. You can see over here, right? So you might be thinking how to download it, right? You just have to go to Google. It's very easy. We need to download it from their website itself. Type in MSP360. So you can see all the products and solutions over here. You can easily download it from here, from the trial version that is over there. As I've already explained all this so let me start it. So what we're going to do is do a backup of a normal file, set local to the cloud mode. So here we are asking to add a storage account. So as of now we don't have a storage account. So out of this we are going to select S3. So here we don't have the credentials. Now we quickly go back and open and make credentials for S3 bucket. Okay, so let me just put in the URL of my sandbox account. See, so we're going to create one IAM user. Okay, So we go to users. Put in since your unit from cloud will and to the cloud and the platform. So this is also putting this password over here. That's one policy. So what I'm going to do is attach full S3 rights. And then we will download the CSV file. Okay, so the CSV file is downloaded now. Security credentials will do multi-factor, but ideally do multi-factor. So we do create key. Here we put it others, but obviously there are ways, there are specific criteria to be chosen from here. So we will put it others over here, and then we need to put the name for the same thing. Count. So it's already now. Access key over here. Sign so S3 blocking. So all we have to create. So we try it. Trying to create the data. Well, of now there is no S3 packet, right? Since we have not created it, so let's try to create it from here. So we are going to direct an user. So basically AWS account and then create a S3 bucket from there direct. And they put name. So obviously it needs to be a very unique name for S3. We can convert public access to me, so this block all public access. That's it. We need to have a unique S3 bucket. And my backup one is already taken, so I'll put my see the bucket. So bucket is there, right? So what I'm going to do is since you are there now, let's go back to the MSP360 page. To cancel it and then basically you need to refresh it, right? Let's do type in the name, access key to root, select search the bucket. Voila, you can see my bucket name and then click. So again, so you can choose or choose not to do. So it's an option. So I will just use the default options, not choose this one. So I'm going to click on cancel now. So click on next. So here you can see granular customization you can do basically. Like our NTFS and so that will be choose the default value. So now you can choose from here and you are going to do that. So it's files. So what to choose. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file for this object, right? So let me create a new folder and then my bucket files and then let me put 3 to 4 files on it. So I'll just refresh it now. Then we have to refresh it. Doesn't run, so it becomes it's still not coming on. So I need ways to refresh it. Then just see use the refresh and D drive. Yes. So you can see this file. Click on next. So these are multiple options again. So here we can backup specific types of file and you can choose not to backup specific type of files. So again so that if in a folder, if you selected a folder, so only specific types of file will be uploaded there, right? And the other files will be not uploaded. For example, if you want to upload a Excel file of a particular folder or a PDF only, so we can do it. So again there are granular other things that we need to do, the carb offset modifying photo. So let's click on next. This one we could need default only. Again, we could need default. Now here we can choose to run it manually, or we can choose to run it, on a schedule basis. So you can set the holiday. Just do that. Yeah. So you can see daily, and then we can choose weekly as well. These are all the phrase that are mentioned over here. Let me choose this one, monthly. So monthly, not a month, but you can choose monthly. So we'll put daily. You can choose Monday. What I'm going to do is we're going to do it every day. Backup ideally happens every day. So just one day. So start date, it will be taken on there. Repeat every one, two, so last week. We'll put the time also, press uh, better we put time one, or we can choose occur every 1 hour, right? Even you can take it to every 1 minute. I think that it not be a feasible option or a solution to. So I think it should be 1 hour, or once every 12 hours or 8 hours, that is fine. So you can also see, you can put stop plan as well. So now click on next. So here you can see, here it is basically about the returns of place, right? It can be days, week, months, even months, and years as well, but so 30 years. So we'll put only 32 weeks only possible. We can't next. But you understand how return policy, depending on the use case to use case, the retention policy will vary. Even the end client will give you the retention policy. So you need to ask that question since well. So again, there can be a pre-backup action depending on the end customer. Customer can let you know when he's doing his steps needed to be taken. Same for the post backup action and backup change as well. So here we'll not select any of that, but we'll put everything on default and click on next. So here again, during this work that will be performed, we can send the notifications to our mail. Right, especially if there is a fail or a finish, anything of that sort, or in all the cases, right? So but we'll not select any of that and click on next for this sheet, and click on next, and then run backup now. You can do a run backup now immediately of all the existing files in that folder. You can see over here it has started. Started there. 1%. So the physical sheet files have started. Yeah, so since it's very small, the file is very small, it doesn't check out. But if it's a large file, then check this will be open. Yeah, everything is done. Concepts, everything is at 100%. So you can see over here, directly in the S3 folder, these three files will be uploaded. But we would not be able to see these three files because this is an encrypted folder. Still try to see if you can open it, but I don't think you can open it because all the files will be encrypted. Yeah, just as a default, right? There is a key as well. Since it's encrypted, so there is a key as well. So anyways, just guys, they're in back folder. So we'll try to now retrieve it. Let's go in back. Let's check out it. So you can see backup storage. All the three files are probably backup storage. Do is restore the files and check out whether it's working on the store. So we'll do it once only. Next. this should be from the data was backed up previously. So this version also, since it's the first time you're doing it, so there is no restore point, right? To restore it to a custom folder. So this can also be retried where I can restore it, but I'll not do it. So I'll choose a specific location. Store it in desktop. So again, you can send a notification, but I'm not going to do it now. Click on next. Now the files have been downloaded. So one thing we need to keep in mind, right, that for a cloud, right, there is cost incurred when there is a data transfer round. So you can see the file is in that. There's a file from where we down restored it to S3, and here try to show you that it got restored from the S3 again. So let me do it again. Deleted here. And see, it got downloaded in the desktop as well, but I'll delete it again. So now I've deleted all the files in my computer, right? So I've restored it from the same process. Let me just restore it. Click on next. Since knowledge version is asking to install the same folder available. Click on next now. And I'll choose a specific location that you are again in the desktop itself. Let me go to that. Click on next. I'll not use any notifications here. Click on next in that place. Right, all the files are now getting downloaded here. Yeah, so there is a data transfer cost, right? So yeah, you can see the file got downloaded here, right? So for the data transfer cost is close to 0.01 per GB. So we need to keep that in mind. Okay, so it's very important. This is the basically default screen, right? So there are multiple other features. We have done only 5 in the calculator. So it was service introduction. So that's how we do it from on-premise to AWS cloud, right? We can even make a bootable device from this software, right? So again, do like my videos, do share and like, right, if you like it. So thank you for your time.